Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Now in today's video, I have a really exciting recipe for y'all, and I'm sure it's something that you've never seen here on YouTube before. Now you know on my channel, I love putting spins off of the classic Mithai recipe. I did it a lot with the soft Mithai recipes, but in today's video, I'm gonna do a variation on that crunchy Mithai. Now in my family, a lot of people like the crunchy Mithai over the soft one, so this is just another variation, and I know my cousins and my sister are gonna love this one, because it is none other than a matcha flavored crunchy mithai. Now for anybody that doesn't know what matcha is, it's basically a green tea. It comes sold as a powder. Sometimes they make tea bags out of it and stuff, but it's a very popular tea that a lot of people drink. So I know in society today matcha is very popular, and I know even with Guyanese people, some of us might be drinking it at home too. So if you love matcha just as much as my cousins and my sister does, I hope you guys enjoy this recipe and give it a try today. So before I get into this video, I've got to give a big shout out to Kavita over at Lotus Bazaar for sponsoring my Navratri and Diwali series this year. Now Lotus Bazaar is your one-stop shop for any of your Indian outfit needs. Whether you're going to a small puja or a big wedding, Kavita's got it all in store for you guys. You saw that some of the recipes I've been wearing like those more simple cotton kurtas, and some of them, of course, I have these more decked out sherwanis. She sells it all. She even does grooms and brides outfits. She has jewelry for women as well. So make sure you guys check her out. Let her know that Matthew's Guyanese Cooking sent you when you go to purchase your item. So without further ado, let's get into this matcha mithai recipe. Alright, so to make this matcha mithai, it's very simple. We're going to start off by making our dough. In my large bowl here, I have my all-purpose flour. I'm going to go in with some cold, unsalted butter. If you wanted to use ghee for crunchy mithai, you can also do that. I'm also going to go in with a little bit of white sugar, and this white sugar is going to help to give it that nice crispiness. I'm also going in with a little bit of baking soda, not baking powder, but baking soda, and this is going to add some bubbles in the middle of the mithai and make it extra crispy, just like a crunchy mithai should be. The baking soda is optional. You can make it without. You just have to make sure you fry it very well until it gets crispy. At this point, I'm going to mix in that butter and rub it into the flour until everything is well combined. After a little while of mixing, you should be left with this fine and sandy texture. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and add in my matcha powder. Now this is just regular matcha green tea powder, and it's the unsweetened version that you can buy at your local grocery store or local Asian market. A lot of well-known grocery stores should be selling it now. I bought this at Walmart, and you can also purchase it on Amazon. At this point, I'm going to start to drizzle in some evaporated milk. If you wanted to use whole milk for this, you can do that as well, and my evaporated milk was cold. I also went ahead and put in a drop of green food coloring just to help with the color of the recipe. If you did not want to put any food coloring at all, you can of course omit it. And I'm also going in with a little bit of vanilla extract. If you wanted to add in some almond extract, you could use that as well, but any flavoring agents you want to use, feel free to add them in. And at this point, I'm going to go in with some clean hands and start mixing everything well until everything's combined. You want to make sure you keep on adding milk until it is no longer dry. You do not want this dough to be too hard nor too soft. And this is what you should be left with after you mixed everything up very well. As you all can see, it is not too sticky at all, and it's not too firm and stiff. And this right here is the perfect color for me. If you wanted to add in more green food coloring, feel free to. Now at this point, we're going to start to roll out our mithai. So this is a very small batch of crunchy mithai that I'm making. So I'm just going to split my dough ball into two separate dough balls just to make the cooking easier. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is flour my surface lightly, go ahead and flatten out this ball, and I'm going to roll it till I get to about between 1/4 and 1/2 of an inch thickness. You can make these as thick or as thin as you want. Remember, the thinner you make it, the crispier they're going to be, and the thicker you make it, it's still going to be crispy. You just have to make sure you fry it long enough. So this next step that I'm going to do is optional. What I did is I heated up my tawa on a medium-low heat just until it started to get hot, and I went ahead and took that dough that I rolled out and I put it on top of that hot tawa. I'm just going to let this sit for about 30 seconds to a minute on each side, and I'm going to flip it over just until you see those little white spots that you're seeing there, until the outside of the dough dries up a little bit. The reason why I want to do this for this recipe is because when you go ahead and cut the mithai, you're going to get nice and even strips. Of course, if you wanted to not do this step, you don't have to. You can go ahead and just cut it as is on the board. Just make sure you're using enough flour so when you cut it, nothing is sticking together. Once I get the dough cooked on both sides and I get it a little bit dry, I'm going to transfer it to my cutting board. I'm going to slice it up into 3 sections, and then I'm going to start to slice it up into those little stick shapes. Again, you can cut these as thick or as thin as you want. Remember, you do not have to cook the dough, but I wanted to do it just to show you all that you can make it simpler on yourself and nothing will stick when you do it this way. So in my pot here, I have my oil heating up on a medium to medium high heat, and I'm just going to let this fry nice and slowly until it is beautiful and crispy and brown on the outside. These are going to take about a good 4 to 5 minutes to fry very well. Remember, you do not want these to be soft. You want them to be crispy throughout. Go ahead and transfer these to a bowl that you've lined with some paper towel and fry out the rest of your mithai, and then we'll make the sugar syrup. At this point, being that I've fried out all of my mithai pieces, I'm going to go ahead and make the sugar syrup or the pog. In this little pot here, I'm going to go ahead and add in my white sugar. Remember, I always say whenever making mithai, white sugar works best just to get that crystallization. And I'm also going to go in with my water. I'm going to bring this up to a boil. I'm going to lower the heat and let it simmer. And I'm going to show you guys what it should look like when it's done. So when my sugar syrup came up to a boil, I went ahead and lowered the heat to about a medium-high heat, and I let it simmer down until it started to get a little bit thick. Once you see that it's nice and frothy all around the edges, maybe there'll be some slight crystallization and dryness on the side of the pot, you can go ahead and test it out. So I usually take a couple of pieces of mithai in a bowl and I start to toss it up just to test it. But what I did here is I put a couple drops in my measuring cup, and you're going to see that it is a little bit crystallized or white or cloudy when you start to stir it up very fast with the spoon. Now, being that my sugar syrup is done, it is time to toss up this mithai. So I took all of those pieces of mithai that we fried, put them in a big bowl, and I'm going to go ahead and dump some of this matcha green tea latte mix. Now, this is different from the unsweetened one that I mixed into the dough. This one is more of a sweetened version that you can make a quick drink with at home. If you cannot find this, you can of course use the unsweetened version as well, or you can omit it totally. And right on top of the mithai, we're going to dump all of that sugar syrup that we boiled, and I'm going to keep on stirring this until everything is well combined and until that sugar syrup crystallizes over all the pieces of the mithai. Now, the only reason I added in that extra matcha powder here was because I wanted to get that deep matcha flavor, and this right here came out absolutely perfect. It came out nice and crispy, it was crystallized, it had that matcha flavor, and definitely this is something that you should try at home if this is a flavor combination that you like. Alright everyone, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video today. This matcha mithai was very exciting for me to make because I know it's something different, and I know during this fasting season everybody's looking for different desserts, different snacks to make other than the normal and just regular stuff that we're always making when we have these holidays. So if you guys enjoyed the recipe today, please don't forget to give this video a nice big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not subscribed yet. Make sure you click that red subscribe button and the bell notification icon, and you'll be notified every time I post my videos. Of course, drop those comments down below because I want to hear from you guys, and you guys let me know what you thought about this recipe and some other recipes you guys would like to see in the future. And a big thank you once again to Kavita from Lotus Bazaar for sponsoring all of these amazing outfits that you've been seeing in my Navratri and Diwali series. So make sure you guys stay tuned for all of my videos that are to come. If you want the information for Lotus Bazaar, some will be right here, the phone number and the Instagram. And of course, I will have it in the description box right below the video, along with the ingredients and measurements for this recipe. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye everyone.